Hello everybody, this is Caveman Math. Today I will review the final unit of 8, Unit 8, which is the types of goods, in a microeconomic setting. We have pure public goods in society. Pure public goods are non-rivalrous, which means that your consumption doesn't doesn't affect what's it called uh, people from using it further, and it will not use it up for future generations, so people can use them as much as they want. We also have excludable goods, which are goods that can be prevented from being used or consumed by other people. So let's say if you buy a if you buy an entire firm and you lock it down for your own production, and you do not intend on selling it, but you intend on consuming every single product produced, then you are excluding people from that good, right? So rivalrous goods are goods that can be used up by one person, leaving less and less or nothing for others. So there are four types of goods. We have private goods. Private goods can be used by one person at a time. They are only for people who pay for them. So examples of this would be food, electronics, and personal things like plane tickets, houses. And we have non-excludable and rivalrous goods, which are common goods. They are considered common goods because they are used by one person at a time, but cannot be easily prevented from being used by other people who do not pay for them. Their examples can be clean air, forests, and fish stock. So if you're there just breathing clean air, nobody can stop you from breathing air. It's just that it can be used by few at a time. Um, we have excludable and non-rivalrous goods, which are artificially scarce goods. And these are goods that can be used by many people at the same time without affecting the availability, but can easily be prevented from being used. These are normally services that have subscriptions, like your local gym, cable TV, ebooks, and software. Then we have public goods, which are goods that can be consumed by many people without reducing the availability for others and without being prevented from anyone using it. They are provided by nonprofits, just organizations in general, or the government. So examples would be national defense, parks, and clean air. With these types of goods being available, there are also problems of them being overused or abused. So this is where the theories of tragedy of commons come in. Tragedy of commons is the problems are it's when it leads to overexploitation and depletion of common resources. That's one tragedy of commons. Another one is that it reduces the quantity and quality of the common resources for future generations. So, as we knew, common resources are forests and clean air. So, let's say the generation prior to us was using a lot of factories that generated pollution. The clean air and clean water are the common resources that have been polluted for future generations. So, that is a tragedy of commons. We also have something that it creates a prisoner's dilemma, where individuals have the incentive um, to defect a socially optimal outcome. So basically, people don't care what happens for the future generations. They only look for their maximum profit. And then we have problems of free riders. So free riders, just leeching off public goods and stuff. It leads to under provision and under consumption of public goods like health and national defense. And then it reduces effective equity over the allocation of pure public goods or public goods. The free rider problem is also where people are incentivized to provide, okay, is we're incentivized to enjoy benefits of public goods without paying for them. That's what happens when people are free riders. They're inclined to use it without paying it. So, what are the solutions to these problems? The solutions to tragedy of commons is establishing property rights like user fees and licenses or permits, creating voluntary agreements or contracts among users of the common resources, and also implementing government regulation or intervention to limit or monitor the use of common resources, which are taxes, bans, fines, and subsidies. Also, promoting conservation of the resource for future generations. To solve free rider problems, coercion is a possible solution, forcing people to pay taxes or fees on public goods, and making services excludable only for people who pay have access. And then there are selective incentives providing additional benefits to those who pay, which is a membership, like the gym membership that we talked about, the gym. We also have altruism that appeals to morals and encourages generosity. So if people are feeling altruistic, they are more likely to conserve the common resources. Thank you for listening. You can just play this in your head as many times as you want to be able to understand these concepts. Thank you so much for listening. As always, goodbye and learn caveman math.